This weather really needs to make up its mind. The minute you adjust the lighting, the bloody sun comes out. Hi everyone! It's almost Christmas, which means the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas jumper is now become a staple part of my wardrobe. So, because it's nearly Christmas and the weather outside was being quite frightful but is now quite delightful, I thought I'd tell you about the greatest Christmas films you can watch ever. I know loads of people have done this for Vlogmas so far, and I've noticed that quite a few of the same films keep appearing, but there's a couple that haven't been mentioned. So, I'm gonna mention them. You might have noticed from watching this that I really like films, so some of these will have already been told to you, just as you were. So the first thing I'm going to tell you about, absolutely everyone has talked about this. This is Elf. It's about the only Will Ferrell film I can stand. It's a classic. I'm joined by my friend Jack here, who stars in this. You could say this is a Halloween film, but I think anything that involves both scary, creepy things and Father Christmas can be enjoyed for the entirety of autumn and winter, TBH. This is a ridiculous rom-com, but it's a ridiculous rom-com that I love, and there are several reasons why I love this film. Firstly, because these two work in publishing, and I love books. These two work in movies, and I love films. So, it's the best of both worlds. Also, there's lots of instances of like classic Hollywood stuff that happens in this, like there's a film writer that Iris becomes matey with, and it's all about like people who make film trailers and film scores and things like that. Also, the invention of Mr. Napkinhead is from this, so great film. Also, it has Rufus Sewell, I don't know how to say his name. It has Rufus in it, who is also the bad guy in A Knight's Tale. He's the guy that's like, you have been weighed, you have been measured, and you have been found wanting. That guy. Every time I see him, it reminds me of my friend Annie. And so, it always makes me smile. So, this film is great. Slightly cheating, not a film, TV special. Still the greatest thing that's ever appeared on the BBC. Can't not mention the Muppets, really, can we? It has to be in the list. Everyone has mentioned it, but it has to be in the list. Jack Frost. This film is amazing. Basically, Michael Keaton is Beetlejuice, and we were big appreciators of Beetlejuice in my family, as I was far too young to watch Beetlejuice the first time I watched it. You get to watch Beetlejuice turn into a snowman and then effectively haunt his child. Brilliant. 2 for 1. The Snowman and Father Christmas. I showed this to my niece and nephew for the first time about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and they thought it was the weirdest thing they'd ever seen, but also they laughed their way through it, so you should check it out. That is, of course, if you can withstand listening to "We're Walking in the Air," because that is, of course, the soundtrack. I'm not saying anyone mentioned this yet, but this film is great. It's so questionable. There's so many things that happen at this school that just should not happen at a school. You get to watch Martin Freeman freak out, and Martin Freeman does the best freak out faces, we all know this, but also pretty much the entire thing was improvised, like all the kids improvised all their own stuff, so it's pretty funny, and it's got an all-star cast, and it's probably the most ridiculously British film you'll watch at this time of year. There's also a sequel with David Tennant. Okay, we are now coming to my absolute 2 favourite Christmas films of all time, and they are... First things first, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I've mentioned this in the aforementioned I Like Films video. Go look up there if you want to watch the whole thing. This is basically Iron Man 3 but without the robots. It's directed by the same guy that directed Iron Man 3, and it is the story of this chap, Mr. Robert Downey Jr. aka Harry Lockhart, and this chap, Mr. Val Kilmer, and Harry and Val Kilmer are solving a mystery at Christmas in LA whilst he is learning how to be an actor. Hilarity ensues. Is genuinely one of the most genius films I've ever seen in my entire life, so if you like detective movies, if you like Robert Downey Jr. and you like Christmas, my other absolute favourite Christmas film is Gremlins. Now, you wouldn't look at this and think, this is a Christmas film, but the entire thing happens at Christmas. The actual, like, Mogwai, Gizmo, is a Christmas present, for Billy in this film. Also, there's an absolutely heartbreaking story about Father Christmas told by Phoebe Cates in this film, so you should watch it. It's a bit like Nightmare Before Christmas. It's a film that you can watch pretty much from Halloween to Christmas Day. Classic as classic can be. White Christmas. Nothing else to say about that really. Now, for those of you that like watching festive films but don't want to be caught in the trap of watching Love Actually, etc., I have some recommendations for you. Firstly, Mean Girls. You might say to yourself, Leah, this is not a film set at Christmas. Do you remember how they all danced to Jingle Bell Rock wearing skimpy Christmas outfits? Because I do. Another great film that you can watch at any time of year that is essentially Christmassy based. Bridget Jones's Diary. Again, you might be thinking, Leah, not a Christmas film. But I tell you, where do Bridget and Mark meet? They meet at the annual Christmas turkey curry buffet. That's where they meet. There you go, films to watch because it's nearly Christmas. Enjoy.